It states here, confirm hire for city clerk position. I take it to mean it's a revote for city clerk position. That I hired for temporary. Per Gary Halsey's request that he'd like to change his vote from yea to nay. There is no discussion that I can see of, so I'll call the council immediately to vote.
Point of order, as a member of the prevailing side in that vote, I would like to object to a motion to reconsider and request discussion of the motion before going to a vote on it.
Who's second the motion?
Second.
Can you take over that? I couldn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
You said what?
So I brought my book tonight, and there's a table, and I'm trying to look up what your motion is.
There's a motion to reconsider, and as I understand it, any member of the prevailing side in the original vote may object to the motion to reconsider and require a vote on whether to have a reconsideration. So I'd like to have that discussion over whether we in fact should have a reconsideration vote on this issue.
Okay.
Okay. According to Robert's rules, you just move right into the vote.
Reconsider is on page 304.
Good.
Okay.
What's on the table, though? Are you looking at the same version?
10?
Somebody said, okay.
11.
Oh, you got a later one.
We move right into the vote without consideration.
Can I recognize the start of the meeting?
If you look at B, it goes right into that, the time limits on reconsideration.
So, while I recognize that there's a motion on the floor to help us get through this, I think, Councilmember Putnam, one of the questions on the issue is which was the prevailing side, because there's been lots of discussion since that meeting, and I believe that the city attorney has done some due diligence, and perhaps others have went back and listened to the recording of council's action that evening and may be able to shed some light on which side was the prevailing side. So if it's okay with you, that perhaps we could get some guidance from the attorney first. I don't want to encourage your motion to go down, but
Yes, well, and certainly if this is an odd situation. If I'm not the prevailing side, then neither is Gary, and he can't request a reconsideration.
right. Yeah.
So,
That's been the debate.
Yeah.
So there's actually no reconsideration. According to Robert rules, you should look it up. We move right into the vote with it. Move right into the vote.
Has anyone read the memo from the attorney? Because the very first thing is a motion to suspend Robert's Rules of Order.
You can't suspend it. What gives you the power to suspend it?
We've adopted them in the council rules. We basically suspend our rules.
So we suspend it.
We have a motion on the floor.
I move to suspend Robert's rules.
We have a motion on the floor.
We have.
Oh, we have to withdraw the job.
Okay, if my motion is not timely, I will withdraw it and allow further discussion.
He withdrew it.
You,
He withdrew his motion, so I think
I move to suspend Robert's Rules of Order.
Gary Holiday made a motion to suspend Robert's Rules of Order.
I second.
Do I hear a second? Mr. Halsey has suspended, has made a motion to suspend the Robert rules of, and Mr. Walker has, Councilman Walker has affirmed it.
And I'm looking here, according to Robert's Rules of Order, a motion to suspend the rules takes a second and is not debatable, and it takes a two-thirds majority, except as provided in there, unless the rules of procedure say something different. I forgot to look that part up. It should be
So
right.
therefore, we take a vote.
Yeah, I think Josh is confirming that right now.
So frequently. Let's see here, suspension of the rules will be suspended except by a majority vote of council members present at the meeting. A motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. All votes to suspend the rules will be by voice vote.
So it takes a majority.
Takes a simple majority by voice vote.
Okay, by voice.
Right.
Roll call of council.
No.
Voice. That's by the, that's where you say all in favor say aye and those opposed say nay.
I read that as
The rules specify that it's by voice vote.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
So, motion passes.
Motion has passed that Robert rules has been suspended.
So, I would ask the city attorney to give the council a briefing on this issue and recommendations on how we can ensure that, given the fact that we don't have a time machine, that we can do everything in our power to ensure that the process is done correctly.
Prior to the council meeting on March the 25th, the mayor appointed the services of a temporary clerk. Such action, I believe, was contrary to statutory law and city ordinances that require confirmation for such a hire, whether it be a permanent or a temporary position, and the individual should have known that it was an ultra-virus act. It was beyond his authority, and the proper procedures were not followed when he hired the interim clerk. I've also been advised by the mayor that he is concerned that liability may be present on behalf of the city if the council fails to confirm her because he has hired her. On March 25th, the confirmation by the council for the position was before the council for consideration. You should be aware that RCW 35A-12-090 states that the mayor has the authority to make appointments of employees subject to the confirmation of the city council. Therefore, it is for the city council that decides whether or not to confirm the candidate proposed by the mayor, thereby preserving the separation of powers doctrine. RCW 35A-12-100 states the mayor has a vote only in the case of a tie in the votes with respect to matters other than the passage of any ordinance, grant, or revocation of franchise or license, or any resolution for the payment of money. However, if the mayor breaks a tie with regard to the confirmation process, that would appear to be in contradiction to RCW 35A-12-090, which requires confirmation by the city council. Although there is some conflict in the statutes, RCW 35A-100 sets out certain specific limitations on the right of a mayor to issue a tie vote or tie-breaking vote. None of the exceptions state that a mayor may not issue a tie-breaking vote in regard to confirmation of an employee required to be made by the council. Following the motion made at the meeting on March 25th, I was asked to determine the course of action that the council should follow and make a recommendation to it for an appropriate position. It is my opinion the mayor should be allowed to break a tie with regard to the confirmation of a mayoral appointment. As a result of the voting that occurred on March 25th, which resulted in a tie vote, I am recommending a course of action to resolve the confusion that exists. Specifically, the mayor has indicated it is unclear to him if he was denied the opportunity to vote at the March 25th council meeting, or if his vote in favor of confirmation of the clerk was made and or recorded. On March 26th, the day after the meeting, the mayor stated in an email to me that he had voted yes at the meeting, but was told he did not have the right to vote. On March 27th, he stated that he was not allowed to issue his tie-breaking vote, both emails being contradictory. I then reviewed the tape of the council meeting, and it is clear when the issue of confirmation of the clerk was being voted upon, the mayor turned the control over of the meeting to Mayor Pro Tem McMahon. The Mayor Pro Tem conducted the entire process from council to public comments as well as vote on the issue. During the entire process, the control of the meeting had been delegated to the Mayor Pro Tem, and only after the vote was announced did a discussion occur as to his voting. The motion, having failed, caused confusion for a councilperson in wanting to bring a motion to change his vote. It was misunderstood as to what the vote was for, and the request to change his vote was made with the following morning within 24 hours. I have set out in my memo to you the comments that were made at the time, and based on the record, it is my recommendation the council take steps to clarify the record on this issue and ensure that proper procedures are followed. As indicated, Robert's Rules of Order have been adopted by the council to govern the meeting. However, this situation presents unique circumstances that are not specifically addressed in the rule. Should the council decide to clarify the confusion resulting from the March 25th motion regarding confirmation, I recommend the council make a motion to suspend Robert's Rules of Order, which motion must be then seconded and voted upon without debate. As to that having happened and the further course of action that may be considered by the council, there are two possible courses of action. One, a motion to repeal, and two, a motion to reconsider. A motion to repeal is appropriate when a motion has passed and action has been taken by the council. In this case, the motion failed, and therefore a motion to repeal would not be appropriate. A motion to consider is appropriate when a motion has failed and no action has been taken by the council, but the council wishes to reconsider that motion and make appropriate action. In this case, a motion to reconsider, in my opinion, would be the appropriate way for the council to act. Assuming or having Robert's Rules suspended, a council member may make a motion to reconsider the motion to confirm the city clerk for a period not to exceed 30 days. That motion would need to be seconded and appropriate action and voting taken. At the council's discretion, further discussion on the motion could be then had. However, since the matter was discussed at the March 25th council meeting, the council could proceed directly to voting on the matter, as Robert's Rules of Order would not be governing the process, they having been suspended. The votes need to be tallied and the results announced. If there is a tie vote, the mayor should then be allowed to vote on the matter and the result of the tie-breaking vote announced. Council at this point has two options. One, to suspend the rules, what they have done. Two, to move to reconsider the motion to confirm the interim city clerk for a period not to exceed 30 days. Needs to be seconded, and a vote needs to occur.
So therefore the vote is in order now. Robert Rule has been suspended, and therefore the vote is.
I have a question. Hold on.
Question.
So, just so I'm on the right page, so we've already moved to suspend, that's passed. If sounds like Gary's gonna make a motion to reconsider, if that's a yes vote, that is just to put it on the table, and then there would be a vote to confirm the clerk after that, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
So, if, as I'm reading this, in your review of the record and the council's actions that night, the motion to confirm the city clerk during last week's meeting, did that motion carry or did it fail?
That motion failed.
So was Councilmember Halsey voting in favor of confirmation? Is it in order or out of order for a party on the non-prevailing side to move to reconsider?
In this particular case, to clarify the record, what I would propose is that one person that voted yea and one person that voted no make a joint motion to reconsider the resolution hiring the clerk on a temporary basis.
And if I can ask another, I'm not finding it in Robert's Rules of Order, but I wonder if a person voting on the prevailing side makes a motion or joins in a motion to reconsider, are they obligated to change their vote?
No, that they can do anything they wish, if so was before the council for the very first time.
Okay. So, John?
Just for clarification, if this vote comes back up to the council, and considering the head count that we have today, it could likely be a tie vote again.
That's correct.
Does the mayor have the right to vote?
Yes, he does.
That's why I want to make sure we're clear on that. Okay.
I want to make sure I got a question. If this vote to change Halsey's previous vote from yea to nay, must we have a unanimous council vote for either, to reconsider Halsey's?
Mr. Mayor, it is my position that the motion to confirm the clerk for a period of 30 days failed due to it being a tie. The question before the council this evening is whether or not the council can bring that back for reconsideration, and my opinion is that it can. The question of whether or not Mr. Halsey wishes to change his vote is moot and is not part of the consideration this evening. The only thing we're reconsidering is whether or not the council wishes to discuss further and bring back on board the council agenda the motion to confirm the clerk. At that point, if they say yes, we will do it, then it is as though it was here for the first time and they can revote.
Okay, I put it before the council. Does the council want to have a revote on the issue? I'm going to have a roll call council on that.
We have to make a motion.
I move to
We already
reconsider.
made-
No, we haven't.
We already made,
No, we haven't made a motion yet.
but
Jerry did.
we threw out Robert rules of,
Quiet, please.
we threw out Robert rules of.
We've made a motion and
Okay.
but we have
Okay.
not made a motion for a vote yet.
Okay. You made them?
The motion is to reconsider, so we need to vote on whether or not we will reconsider.
So second the motion.
I second it.
There's been moved and second. The motion to reconsider. The chair asked Halsey for his,
The reason I feel I voted in error, I was having a solar moment, and I was confused. Thought we were still on the amendment last week, and I voted in the affirmative. And I did notify the council and the mayor within the 24-hour period as prescribed by Robert's rule. But motion to reconsider just brings the issue back up on the floor.
the chair recognizes John Jones.
The reason why I'm agreeing to this reconsideration motion is because the confusion of the last meeting vote where it was a 3-3 tie, it was notified by 2 council members that it was a negative, but the mayor claimed he had a right to tie, and that was disputed, and I think it needs to be cleared up, and we need to have a clear vote on it.
Debate by the council.
I'll agree to that. For Councilmember Holsey's point and Councilmember Jones's point, as the person responsible for chairing the meeting last week for this portion of the agenda, I think that the transcript that the city attorney provided clearly shows that the council, and me in particular, were in error when I prevented the mayor from being able to cast a tie-breaking vote. So I think that it's appropriate for Councilmember Holsey's reasons and to respect the right of the mayor, that the council do whatever it can to remedy any wrong that was certainly done by mistake and not on purpose. But for that reason, I think it's appropriate that we reconsider and redo the vote, because I think it's the only remedy available.
Pardon?
Well, I had intended to object to the reconsideration, but that was because I was of the opinion that I was on the prevailing side in that vote. If our review of the tape reveals that in fact it was properly, or was formally called against the motion at that time, then I am in fact not on the prevailing side and have no objection to a reconsideration. I would, however, point out one other issue on this. If I remember correctly, the initial appointment of the interim clerk was on March 5th or 6th, and this confirmation is for only 30 days. So whichever way we vote on it tonight will expire prior to the next council meeting, so it will need to be on our agenda again next week, I believe.
Any other comments? Comments from the audience? It has been moved and second that the council will reconsider the vote. Roll call of council.
Councilmember Dyer? To reconsider, right?
Correct.
Councilmember McMahon?
Aye.
Councilmember Putnam?
No.
Councilmember Bradley is not here. Councilmember Walker?
Aye.
Councilmember Holsey?
Aye.
Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
It has been moved to reconsider the